Once again.
Honored to be here. I love Detroit, love what we're doing here. Thanks for having me.
Hello everyone, my name is L'Oreal Ross. I am the owner of Fifth Soul, an online boutique, and I am also a human resources professional, Detroit born and raised. And I'm excited to be here, excited to speak with you all, excited to connect with you all now and after. So I'm just excited to be here.
My name is Sean Wilson. By night, I'm a social and tech entrepreneur, invest in numerous tech startups, mostly tech ed, and then during the day, I'm the manager of multicultural community engagement for Ford Motor Company Fund, which is the philanthropic arm of Ford.
Wow, exciting. You guys give a round of applause for all of you. So what suggestions would you give to somebody who's trying to find their niche in the world?
So, for me, literally the thing that was preventing me from going to sleep at night was education equality, right? Making sure our students had access to quality education. And literally, I would just do whatever I could to put myself in that environment with kids, to put myself in that environment with educators.
You have to not look at what else is out there, what else is going on, just go deep into who you've always been. And with me, I've always loved to make people happy. I'm a people pleaser. I like to see people happy. I like to make people smile. So that's one of the reasons why I went into human resources, because I like to make employees happy. I like them to enjoy their job. I love employee engagement. And then I like to make people feel good by what they wear.
Yeah, I would just piggyback on that. I think it's, you have to find your passion and purpose. And it's one of the things that's really guided me. I've had a really interesting career where I started off in Milwaukee, Wisconsin in traditional nonprofit YMCA, Children Guiding Association. Moved to Atlanta, found my passion as a social entrepreneur, started a consulting firm helping high net worth individuals with their charities, starting their own nonprofits. Found my way into celebrity philanthropy where I worked with a number of NBA, NFL players, and other celebrities on their foundations. And for 10 years, I was the president and CEO of Luscious Foundation.
Now, Sean, you graduated with your degree in business administration. Why did you go into business? And do you think that millennials even go to college anymore?
So,
I mean, you know, because I'm like, man, let's do
yeah, so the truth is, you know, I've always been an entrepreneur. So in high school, I was throwing parties like sophomore year in high school. I was always someone who hung out with kids older than myself. So I would rent like my boy's basement, you know, because he was already graduated. And then I'd invite the school out. I charged $5, $10 a head. I'd get my older brother to buy a cake, you know, and then work security. And, you know, sophomore year, I'm walking away with $500, $600 a night, right? So I've always been an entrepreneur in a traditional manner. I always worked full-time and went to school full-time. So the only reason I did it, because I knew I had to check that box. So I'm more of people, finding their career pathway than necessarily going to college. And I know that's bad because Ford gives away a lot of money, when it comes to scholarships. But the truth is, after you check that box, after you get that first job, no one goes back and checks your transcript. No one, unless you're in a specific type of field. But overall, I think it's a business, and we have to be careful. We want to make sure that we're following our passion and career more than anything.
Y'all can give it up for that. That's awesome. I'm just trying to read the question and take notes at the same time.
Success to me is doing what you truly love and being happy doing it. So a lot of people think success is, okay, I reached this dollar amount. You have to realize once you reach that dollar amount, you're going to want to reach the next dollar amount. So you can truly never find success in those type of goals. But when you're doing what you truly love and living out your true purpose, then that's success. No matter how much money you make or, what's going on around you, who all knows you, who loves you. It's just about how you're impacting people and yourself.
Appreciate that. Now, okay, so one of the things I'm trying to do more in 2018 is set more realistic goals, right? Because we can have a bunch of things on a piece of paper, but if we don't set realistic goals to achieve them, they never get done. And I've watched so many times where things I've said in 2017 roll over into 2018 because I didn't get it done. So I guess my next question is for you, Russell. How do you set realistic goals?
Yeah, so I think the fundamental thing with setting goals is they have to be specific, right? You can't just say, I want to lose weight. Like, why, right? So they have to be specific. Start with what you want to do, add a time frame to it, right? So I want to do this by when, and then I would go on to add what you're looking for in terms of an outcome. So I want to do this by when so that I can do something that you love that's going to benefit you, right? So be selfish with it. Be specific. Be all in. These are things that's going to help you get to where you want to be.
Okay, so do you think that the reason why we don't really go after and put ourselves out there is because we're afraid of hearing the word no?
Yeah, the fear of failure is real.
But because I've watched so many people who have great ideas, but they never get them started because they're I just don't know how to go up and tell that person this is what I want to do, or that they're a great partner for me. How do we get over the fear of just hearing the word no?
Hey, that's funny. Sean Q and I was just over here talking about that. So that's real. First of all, we were acknowledging that in Detroit, our young black women are just killing it, right? In terms of they're young business women. And one of the things that we acknowledged was to have a relentless sense of grit that allows them. They don't care what other people think. They just go. They just execute.
L'Oreal, one of the things that I've been watching on social media for a while now is that people have a hard time putting a barrier between their personal and professional brands. And a lot of times they get bleeded in and you see them posting about their cupcakes and twerking at the same time. Right? So I'm man, I don't know if I should support them or if they're nasty. So does your reputation have to mirror your business?
I definitely say yes. What you put out there is what people will believe and how they'll feel about your brand. So, for example, I own an online boutique, but if you always saw me out with sweatpants and a long t-shirt, and I came up to you and said, hey, I have an online boutique, you should check it out. But the first thing you're going to do is look at what I have on, and you're going to say, oh, that's probably the type of clothes that she has on her website, so I'll pass. And then you also want people, they always say you don't care what people think. Well, you want people to, one, understand your brand. So I can't say that my brand is professional and then every other Insta snap is me cursing.
But moving on, just focusing on the branding piece, any of you feel free to respond. Should a business owner spend more money in branding and marketing than anything else?
I'll answer that first because I was one of those people when I first started my online store. I can make my own logo. I'll design my own flyers. I'll design my own website. I definitely say be resourceful, but also know what it looks like. So,
What struggles have you faced?
So it's really consistent. I think it's something that everyone faces. So I call it the imposter syndrome. You know, it's I'm not even supposed to be here. And you know, I grew up in Milwaukee. You know, definitely resource deprived. You know, my family was, and neither one of my parents graduated high school, let alone college. So there was always this sense of self-doubt. And I remember I was 19. I just got promoted at the YMCA to a director position, youngest in the association nationally. And I went to my first meeting, and I was sitting there, and I said, I know I'm young, and you know, I know I'm new. And then whatever I said, right? And afterwards, this guy, Dave Martorano, pulled me to the side, like literally right when we walked out the room, and he said, "Don't you ever start off a comment like that. Because as soon as you said, I know I'm young, I know I'm new, I didn't even hear what you had to say." And so that's like a really big lesson I've tried to carry is, you know, and I don't care how many accomplishments you have, there's always this self-doubt in your mind no matter what. And so that's going to be a lifelong struggle that you have to keep your eye on and make sure that as you continue to grow. And my biggest fear is I've accomplished a lot, and one of my biggest fears is that this was my biggest moment.
Man, I'm only 25, I'm black, I'm short, Jesus. Like, what am I gonna do with all of these Caucasian folks that are in the room, and they're tall, white guys, and they got, you know, little pot bellies? I mean, it's just crazy, right? So that's how I'm faced with every single day, and I have to ask myself, like, when you go in this room, don't act like you're the smallest guy in the room. You know, act like you are the biggest guy, but you know exactly what you're going in this room to get and do. And that's what has helped me in 2018 to be like, yo, I'm just going after it. I don't care what it is. They can talk about me if they want, I'm doing it, right? Okay, go ahead, we talking, it's okay.
I just want to add, so sometimes we pray and we hope for certain things to happen in our lives, right? And I really believe that God has been strategic with where we are in our lives. Sometimes we want to get to a spot. Sometimes we want to be in a spot and we're not prepared to be in that spot because, like she said, we haven't done the self-assessment, the self-building that we need to do in order to be successful at that spot. So it's like climbing up a ladder but skipping levels to get to the top. And when you skip levels, like the fall is way harder. So we forget sometimes that, yo, it takes time to get to where we want to be. We just have to appreciate the process. And for me, like, for real, I got to a spot where I hadn't done the self-work. I hadn't done the development that I needed to do. Luckily, I didn't fall down, but I wasn't as impactful as I should have been without doing that work. So I just wanted to add that we forget that it takes time. Continue to pray, continue to hope, and continue to work. But it took Moses 40 years to be Moses, right? Yeah. And then it took him another 40 years to do what he did. So it's a process. Just trust the process.
Can you speak a little bit more about the process of not being afraid and developing the habit of making mistakes? And then facing that level of discouragement and then still having the ability to push through.
When you have that positive mindset and you have that I will win no matter what happens mindset, you're welcoming mistakes. You're gonna welcome the trials, the tribulations, because you know, okay, this is a trial. What did I do wrong? Okay, this is what I'm gonna do better, or this is what I'm gonna do different. So that makes it more, you know, just okay to do that.
That's good. So for me, I think about what the mission is, what I want to do, but in the times of trial, in the times that I failed, I realized what I did, what I messed up on, and I use it as an opportunity or an area of growth or something for me to focus on as I go back at it, right? So yesterday I was speaking to a group of young men, and I was telling a story about like the Karate Kid, right? He went through all this stuff, he got beat up. Mr. Miyagi had him paint his house, had him wash his car, and he made him paint a certain way, he made him wash his car a certain way. He didn't know that he was learning karate. He actually went through all this stuff, got stronger, picked up the techniques, and was able to attack things through those experiences. So learn from your failures, learn from the hardships, and just be relentless towards that mission, towards that goal.
The only other thing I would say is have a healthy competition about it as well. You know, so recently I was faced with a situation where someone kind of doubted me and it just pissed me off to where I went into this mode where I'm like, okay, we're about to do this now. And I just, you know, doubled down, couldn't sleep, just made it happen, you know, and so I think competition is good where, and once again, the more successful you become, the more your brand matters. And so every little thing kind of drives you to excellence. And I love, you know, that we're trending towards Black excellence as a hash. I love that, right? Because I think that that's what we have to keep in mind at all times. And the last thing I say, just do shit. Like that's some, I think we talk ourselves out of doing stuff all the time. We sit there and we talk about everything that could go wrong. I remember reading this story or quote about Michael Jordan, who, you know, they basically said, look, when Michael Jordan steps up to the free throw line, he doesn't say, well, what happens if I, you know, push the ball left? What happens if it, you know, bounces a little short? What happens if I break it off the back? He doesn't. He's like, he literally pictures the ball going into the net, and that's how he wins. And so we just have to sometimes just do shit and make it happen and stop talking ourselves out.
Everyone in here, I'm assuming we all have some brand we either are striving towards or already are engulfed in. And it can become overwhelming sometimes. So I kind of want to hear how you guys live it, but as you said, find that balance in it.
I think a couple things. One, do you really know your brand, right? What's your authentic brand? Because I think once you know your authentic brand, then it's easy to live it. And then to the question, I think it was the very first question, then your social media reflects it, you know, all that stuff reflects it.
That was one of my issues was, okay, I have this online boutique, but I never wear my clothes when I go out because I don't really go anywhere. So let me start actually being my brand. Let me put my clothes on and show people how I want them to look and feel in it. Joy A. Williams. I am the owner and stylist of Salon J. Marie in Southfield, Michigan.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm T. Capel. I am the owner of Fly Behavior Women's Brand. I create Chic, which is a brand consulting business, and I am the founder of the first ever LA Fashion District tour where I take other fashion and apparel owners to LA and show them how they can take their inventory search to the next level.
Good afternoon, my name is Q. I'm the director of production for Adele Media, which covers 9 to 10 a.m. Central Station, the Word Network, as well as WADO Detroit. So I'm over the production and the creative department for all 3 of those properties, and I'm also the owner of Perfect Touch Productions and Q Record Studio.
I'm ready to talk. Okay.
Team. I think every successful business has to have a good team. It has to have good leadership, and then it also has to have good role players. And I think the good leader has to play their role. And so I think that a lot of failed businesses, they don't understand the concept of team, and they don't understand the concept of lane management.
Man, I was trying to get my notes ready.
That was great.
Okay. So, T, how do you balance a healthy social life with having more than one business?
I don't. It took a lot of trial and error, but I got to a place where I was unapologetic about saying no. So I can't be at everything, I can't go on every trip, I can't go to dinner. I kind of took on this mentality, I have to have something to celebrate. So,
What?
and myself,
That was good.
I mean, because you know, you want to go out, you want to go to dinner, you want to take trips, you know, your friends, hey, let's hang out. And I'm like, yeah, but I didn't make no money this week, right? The sales are down, the website is not popping, and I have to get people registered for this next tour. So what am I celebrating? So I feel like we have to learn how to say no, even when we want to go and do things. And it's like, what am I celebrating? What did I accomplish this week? How many of those goals on my list did I complete? If you haven't, then you might want to
Yeah, you don't
be
need
at
to go
home
somewhere.
on your back on a Friday night. I moved back from Chicago about a year and a half ago, and I spent all of my 20s in Chicago. And all I did was happy hour, take trips, and Taco Tuesday with my girl every week. And then I looked up and I was like, I'm behind on some things that I wanted to accomplish, but I had a great run. And so I was like, you know what? We're gonna buckle down, get refocused, and then that's when I started seeing all the things I wanted to do unfold because I was prepared and ready.
I would say one thing I try to set a boundary. When you're Solange Marie, that's Solange Marie. I'm not daughter, I'm not niece, I'm not BFF. This is my business. So we're in here, this is business. But when we leave out of those doors, yeah, I'm BFF. Yeah, I'm mommy. Yes, I'm daughter. But you have to set a boundary because if you don't, I've run into situations as people don't respect you. I had a run-in with a family member years ago when, they came in the salon and you talk to me any kind of way. And you have to realize I'm not 5 years old anymore. I'm not your niece that was 5 years old. I'm a woman now and this is my business. So if you don't respect me in here, then hi, you know what? Hey, I'm not your stylist. You can go find another salon. This is business. Because when I come in your space, I have to respect your space. So you have to treat people accordingly and you have to set that boundary before anything starts. This is business, and when we leave out of here, we can take that to another matter.
Yeah, okay, so here's where I'm going next to you. You talked earlier about establishing a team. At what point in your business should you establish a team?
I believe you have to start how you want to finish. I think that you have to plan and prepare for where you want to go, not where you are. And anything that seems hard to do at the start with no revenue, it's almost impossible to do once you're used to having a lot of revenue. The other thing is you can't grow if you don't have the capacity to grow. The other thing is you can't manage 10 people, you can't manage 2. So you have to start how you want to finish. So I always say it's better to have too much than not enough. But the thing is, I like to be stretched. So whenever you have too much, now it drastically increases your time management skills, increases your communication skills, it increases your strategic skills. But a lot of times when you have lack, you start to think that you're overwhelmed. You're not overwhelmed, you're just not prepared. So if you prepare right, then you'll always be able to produce.
So let me ask this, T. What's your creative process and how do you go about being the ultimate creative that you are?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Because we often see like the finishing, right? We often see the finished product, but we don't talk a lot about the starting stage or the process thereof.
Yeah, so when I think about things, I think about the end result. Like, how do I want to see the finished product? And then it's like, okay, what are the steps it's going to take for me to get to that point? Do I need to consult with someone else who's better at this? Can I do it? Do I have the ability? So I always try to think about the end result and really take time before I jump into something. Like I will sit and sometimes I just leave it until I wake up out of my sleep and I'm like, okay, and I jot it down. Like a lot of times I don't move until I'm led. So and because when I don't, I make mistakes or it doesn't come together how it's supposed to. It's not seamless, it's not effortless. If I feel like I'm struggling too much or I'm putting too much effort into something, then I know this isn't the route. This is not God's plan for how I should be doing this. So then I just have to pull back and I'm okay with being still until I get the proper clarification on how to move forward.
Man, God's plan, that's my song. Okay. So talking about God's plan for our life, Jay, what would you say has held you back from pursuing all that God has for you?
Myself. Sometimes you can be your greatest enemy. The thoughts that are in your mind will hold you back. I know when I was first starting in the hair industry, At first, I didn't feel like I was capable to do it because there's so many people. This industry is saturated with people. Everybody does hair. So I'm like, well, am I going to be good enough? How will I build my clientele? Are people going to come to me? Are they going to believe in me? But at the end of the day, it's not about that. If this is what God called me to do, then this is what I'm called to do. This is what I'm purposed to do. So I don't have to worry about, are people going to like me? Are people going to buy into me? This is what He told me. He gave me specific instructions for this. So I was the biggest critic for myself, and I'm still the biggest critic. I think you should be your biggest critic, and you should be your biggest cheerleader.
Social media and everything will have you thinking it's all glitz, glam, and vacations and palm trees, and it's nothing like that. It's sacrifice. It's you have to be willing to do things that you typically aren't used to doing, that are uncomfortable. You have to sometimes do the opposite of what your family tells you to do. For me, I have 2 old school parents. They didn't understand anything I was talking about doing. When I moved to Chicago, I said, I'm moving to Chicago, I'm gonna start a personal shopping service, and they was like, what?
Yeah, I ingest what has access to me and what I have access to. I know who I want to be like. I know what I want my house to be like. I know what I want my future to be like. I know what my finances to be like, my family to be like, and I know how I want my business to run. So I spend my time either reading articles and books about these people, being around these people, or just being with myself and developing myself. I don't want to be so caught up in what's trendy that I'm not successful. Because to a huge degree, trends don't pay bills, but trends waste time. And so a lot of times we invest in things that allow us to move fast, but we're not moving forward. So my challenge would be to take inventory of who you're around and who you're listening to. Find people that preach, teach, and live systems, and not preach, teach, and live work hard. Because what blew me away is the mentors that I follow are like wealthy beyond belief, and they're always chilling. And there are other people that I know that are always hustling, grinding, in work mode, and they don't have anything. So it shows you that a lot of times you're not intentional. You're working hard, but you're not working smart. The only way to work smart is by having extremely good processes. And the only way to learn really good processes is by studying those that do. So you want to study Henry Ford, you don't want to study social media moguls.
Okay, so I got one more question that we're going to go into a Q&A. And this question is for you, Jay. When it comes to creating a business, when it comes to being the best version of yourselves, when it comes to writing a book or starting an entrepreneurial endeavor, how do you discover your purpose? I know that purpose is something that we often talk about, but people have a hard time really grasping what their purpose is in life. How did you discover your purpose?
I honestly believe purpose is discovered through prayer. If you don't take that time to actually sit and be still and don't move because you're super excited or just because you're really passionate about something, but if you actually take the time to listen, it will come. Like I said earlier, everything that I chased before, it ran away from me. But it was when I said, okay, Lord, this is what I want to do. And if this is your will for me to do, then you'll let it happen. And when I actually took the time to be still and let it happen, it happened. I'm going to be honest, I didn't have a lot of money. I didn't save to open my business like I should have. I do encourage that you do save to actually open your business, but that didn't happen for me. But I knew that I discovered my purpose when the doors went flying open. So the salon that I actually bought was a salon that I had worked in years ago as a shampoo girl when I didn't have a car. And then I would walk across the street to another salon and shampoo there, not knowing that I would come all the way back around in my journey and buy the salon that I worked at. And then I'll say this little funny story. God has a funny way of doing things. He literally will make your enemies your footstool. So one of the salons that I worked at, the lady contacted me, hey, can I come work there? But when I left there, you told me, are you going to be okay going out on your own? You know it's hard out there. So I knew I tapped into my purpose when everything started turning full circle, when people started coming back. People who talked against me now have to ride past and see, look at what God did. but it came through prayer, being still. And sometimes I'm still hesitant on it. I'm like, okay, wait, is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? And he's like, yes, because when women come in my salon, it's not just about a hairstyle. I'm actually looking at, like, how can I help this woman? So when a woman sits in my chair and she breaks down, and then I'm able to talk to her, and I'm able to touch her, and I'm able to just listen to her, and when she walks out, she's like, wow, not only do I feel beautiful, but I look beautiful as well. So I got a 2-in-1, and then that lets me know, like, you tapped into your purpose, girl.
I know, me, I have a lot of people who I look up to and connect to, but it's hard to find a solid mentor who will actually take the time to really help me grow and help me on the next level. And I know a lot of people like gravitate towards me, but at the end of the day, it's like, okay, well, I still need, you know, that mentorship, but it's hard to find people who are actually going to take the time to invest in me. You guys have recommendations on how to build those connections or relationships, or, you know, is mentorship really something to take you to the next level? Like Q, I know you have a lot of mentors who helped you. And I don't know, you know, T or J, did you guys have those as well to help you to, you know, with your businesses and things like that?
A mentor is not a life coach. A mentor isn't a person that pushes you to the front. A mentor isn't a person that gives you opportunities. A mentor is a person that literally challenges you. A mentor to me is a person that gives you perspective. A mentor is a person that gives you access to the better parts of you that don't even know exist, not so much the better parts of them. Because what real mentorship does is it makes you realize that John Maxwell says, never tell a person what to do, just reveal to them what needs to get done. Because in every scenario, there are different X factors. And if I give you an exact plan and you follow that to a T, I could lead you to destruction. But if I give you consciousness and awareness of what needs to get done, and I give you resources on how to receive wisdom on how to get it done, then you can develop your own plan. The mentors will then hold you accountable. Did you take advantage of all of those resources? Are you taking advantage of, are you maximizing your time? Have you built an infrastructure around you, a community around you that will help lead you to those goals? Or is what's in you working towards those goals, but what's around you stopping you from actually achieving them? And so a lot of times, the people that I've encountered that have problems with mentors are the people that come to the mentor already full of themselves. Nobody wants to help a person that acts like they don't need help. And so a lot of times I think we do a disservice to each other by, one of my mentor's favorite lines is, well, then I need to work for you. Because a lot of times I've seen it happen a million times. This man is worth like $700 million. And people introduce themselves to him as the CEO of this, the founder of this, the president of this. And he's like, well, maybe I need to work for you. There's a blessing in being humble. There's a blessing in being stupid. Embrace being the dumbest person in the room. You don't have to feel like you have to introduce yourself as your title. The Bible says, I'll make your name great, not your title great. So as long as your name is relevant, it'll get you in the room, and then your character will take over. Way too many times.
I just want to add like some tangible things, like those are all great. And so I actually had this conversation at an event I was at with some women business owners and entrepreneurs in the city. And I'm just going to tell you what their response was when they asked this question. A lot of them said, don't email me and ask me to meet for coffee or lunch. That was like one of the biggest things. They was like, meet me where I am, or say, how can I help you? Like, this is what I'm seeking, but first I want to say, are there anything or any ways that I could assist you? Can I come to your office and maybe just help you on an afternoon? Or a lot of times people don't have time to, break away and or if I do have 10 minutes, I really don't want to sit and talk over coffee. You know, they're like, hey, meet me in my office, whether I'm just eating lunch and we're talking. So I think a lot of times we have to put ourselves in their presence and not like, hey, okay, let me take you away from what you have going on and feed it to me. Whether it's, hey, can I come in for an afternoon and just help around your office, or just, you know, sit and talk with you while you're doing what you do or eat lunch or whatever. So I think just being a little bit aware of what or how we're asking people, what the time that we're asking people and how.
I think what they both said is actually great. I remember at one point in my career, earlier in my career, I was calling around because I was so stuck on trying to find a mentor. And then I realized everything that I'm looking for, I already have right in front of my face. And so one of the ladies that I was working for, at the moment I didn't understand how she was teaching me. I thought she was just coming at me. And so now later on, as I look back over it, I'm like, no, she was teaching me a lot. She was showing me a lot. And she was hard on me because she really wanted me to get it. So now that I look at it, she was my mentor. It was right there the whole time in my face. Sometimes we're looking for something that we think it should be, and this is what I want, and that has nothing to do with what you're doing. It's right there in front of your face.
Okay, well, I would like to just thank everyone for coming out today in this rainy day. I would like to thank all of the panelists, Q, T, J, Russell, Sean. Where is L'Oreal? I just want to thank everybody for just coming and sharing your gems and just really educating Black millennials of, you know, just to be successful. And I'm connected to all of these people in some way, and I'm just so truly grateful and honored that I'm connected to you guys. And I definitely wanted this event to be a place where we were able to get educated, we were able to get connected to things that we weren't, you know, connected to before. Like if you needed a photo shoot, if you needed a photographer, a videographer, if you needed a stylist, if you needed anything, that this was the place to find that. And I hope you did that. And if you didn't, please connect to somebody today. Brandon, thank you so much. My mother, where is my mother? I thank her for all of this too. She has definitely been a big part of my life. Just me as being a visionary, trying to do better than what I thought, do better than everything that I do. I'm just so thankful for just instilling passion and purpose inside of me. Where's Kobe? Thank you so much for just connecting me to Russell, because Russell, yes, thank you so much. I'm trying to think of everybody. Did Sean leave? Yes, Sean left. Okay. So I want to thank all of our sponsors for just being here and supporting. And I want to thank all of our vendors. Please check them out too as well. I just again want to thank everybody for coming out. Please again get connected to those services that you need. Faye, thank you so much for decorating this event. Thank you so much for my friends for just being here and helping me through this process. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. So I want to do the social media giveaway. I was ready. Okay, because I know you was looking, so I was just getting prepared so that I can get my check. Okay, so Eric Williams, is that how you pronounce it? Give a round of applause for our social media giveaway too. Eric. Now it's not a new car, but I got it. And she's gonna get it in the back as well. And again, let me say, be sure to support all of these people who are in this room, right? Even people who are on these panels. If you need help, if you need photos, if you need photography done, if you need some clothes, if you need a look, if you need brand help, these are your connections.
Brandon, he is amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I know, because I was talking and you was talking, so I was just saying this things. Yeah, but be sure to support all of them, as well as these vendors here. People work hard, man, to make their vision come to pass and to make it come to life, right? And so if you can do one thing in 2018, make sure you support somebody else. I can't read lips. What she said?
And I want to thank again my DJ. Yes, please support him. He's very, he travels. He's from Florida. He travels Metro Detroit as well. Again, thank you so much for all of our vendors and our panelists. Again, please get connected if you're not. And I really just want to, again, thank you all so much. And please, please, please get connected. This is the point of this event, to get connected to somebody that you need, a service that you need. Please, please, please. Thank you so much for coming, guys.
Give a round of applause for Taylor one more time.
Thank you.